Friends, a year ago, a diabolical mastermind known as the Maker, an alternate universe version of Reed Richards, invaded a brand new universe and systematically prevented heroes from becoming superheroes. In 1 year, he will return. The Ultimates are assembling. Here we are. Welcome, friends, to Ultimate Countdown.
Ben, take us away.
Welcome, everybody, to the year 2025. We are so close to the Ultimates facing their doom. I don't know, maybe. But anyway, it's been a while. We're back, and we're here to talk about the Ultimates and Ultimate Spider-Man today. I am Dr. Ben, and I am joined by Mark and Ro. And we are going to be discussing the last 4 issues of Ultimate Spider-Man. So that is issues number 13, 14, 15, and 16 of Ultimate Spider-Man. Let's jump into the comics.
Oh, by the way, before we begin, me and Ben actually met up a couple weeks ago.
We did for the very first time. Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was a trip. Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. We went to Newberry Comics. We saw some Yu-Gi-Oh cards get stolen.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
And then we went out to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a great time. Real talk, I had 1 day of free time during my travel day, and I chose to spend it with you.
I love you, man. Thank you.
And I don't regret it yet.
Oh, yeah. Hey, plus, you got your Ultimate Spider-Man #1.
I did. I
That's
did.
true.
A first edition printing that was delivered to me in a bag with no board, which we eventually got.
No, we didn't. We've got an extra board. Yeah,
we got one after.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in a board the whole bag the whole time.
No.
Like, baby steps. He had a bag at least.
Yes.
Like,
hey, I tried. Okay,
now,
I tried.
Couldn't
I
wait
know
to
it's off
tell you
topic.
this specifically, Mark. Why don't we queue up Ultimate Spider-Man?
Sounds good. Let's do
Since
it.
that's the best book on stands.
so you don't want to start with you don't want to end with the good books.
Here we go.
Whatever. I don't know.
You're gonna make me get all happy and then end the video me talking about Ultimates.
Oh, we have a lot to say about Ultimates.
Ultimates had the most recent issue.
That is true.
That's just true.
Not that counts.
No. But essentially, Ultimate Spider-Man number 13 picks up where we left off last time in the reveal that Peter is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Peter was taken away, and so is Harry. Somebody else is swinging around in this Picotech suit, and that is Richard Parker. So the big reveals of this issue is that Richard has been filling in for the role of Spider-Man by using the Picotech suit that Tony Stark gave him. We learn a little bit more about this suit. We learn a little bit more about how it works and what it can do.
And what it's not allowed to do.
And what it's not allowed to
do.
And what it was told to do. We also learn Peter and Harry are trapped by Kraven the Hunter, which pisses off Molman and Mysterio a smidge. More on that later. We then get some things set up between Richard and the new Black Cat. I believe that those are the big highlights of issue number 13. Gentlemen, let's talk.
100%.
I thought it was a nice, fun issue. I wasn't expecting Richard to be in the suit, but it works. Especially since the Pico suit is pretty much doing all the heavy lifting anyways. But even so, you can tell this isn't something that was just done just to be done. This is probably going to stick for a little bit until, something major happens. Because I don't see this lasting for, the entirety of the run. But I can see them milking it for a good couple issues. And it works. It's good that Peter has, a little sidekick running around.
I have a question.
Yes.
It's going to come up. I was actually going to save this for issue 15.
Mm-hmm.
Where did Tony get this? There isn't an answer. Let's just start with that. But did Tony create this, or did Tony obtain this?
I want to say obtain.
Yeah.
This feels like something that he obtained.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that their satellite is in space.
Yeah, because I mean, even if you go back to Ultimate Invasion or Ultimate Universe,
Yeah.
like didn't he just like grab a box and some shit with just like everybody's information and kind of, just handed it out? So I kind of just felt like he just got like the important bits and pieces of that person's history, which Picotech, you can kind of assume Venom as well, or like a symbiote. I don't know. It's not really confirmed. So I think Tony just grabbed the bits and pieces of important info or important pieces of their history and just gave it to him. So I don't
Yeah.
think he didn't create this, because that seems like something we would get more context on if he created
Right.
it. Yeah.
I may be
sorry,
reading into a lot of this issue. Nah,
Yeah.
it's still. I may be reading into a lot of this issue, but like I don't like. There's something that's gonna be off about this suit. There's something because it's like once you hear anything AI, I'm like,
Yeah.
especially learning and training Richard. And I do like the dynamic between him and the new Black Cat, where he's like, I'm 15 and a half, and then she's 16 and a half. So I'm like, okay, not far in the age. I
She's
like
17.
that dynamic.
She's straight with him. She's 17.
She said 16 and a half. She said almost 17.
No, she said 17. Right?
Pretty sure she said 16 and a half.
Yeah, it's in the next issue, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's the next issue. Yeah. I read them all in a straight shot, so it's all blur which one's which is why I'm glad we have these screenshots.
Mhm.
I do like the kind of dynamic because I was like, Peter is married with 2 kids. We don't need a homewrecker, Black Cat, and Ultimate Spider-Man.
No, yeah. No, we're good.
And I don't think, and that dynamic wouldn't even work given Peter's personality in this book.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it's dealt with this way. I kind of like that it kind of gives Richard, one of the kids, something to do instead of just being kind of in the background, like, hey, I have kids.
Yes.
It's like, there they are. Okay, now I'm gonna go do this. It's like it adds stakes now to Richard now that he's on the ground, basically being Black Suit Spider-Man. And I think it's also a good, refreshing take. Because I was curious. I was like, oh, are we gonna get the whole suit corrupting Peter Parker? Then the symbiote leaves. Then we get Eddie Brock. Then we get Venom. Wash, rinse, repeat, like we always do, or Flash Thompson. And but I'm like, this is neat, and this does set up, like I was thinking, foreshadowing AI. I was like, oh, could we get a Venom that's not with a host down the road? Because we already got the Sinister Six, but man, we know Spider-Man's got a nice rogues gallery to pick from, and it would be hard. I'm hard to say an Ultimate Spider-Man without some form of a Venom at one point.
Or do we get to a point where he has to fight his son?
Well, I was going to go darker with that. I was going to go darker.
Has to kill his
Does
son?
he break rule 1 or 3?
No, not even that. I think, we're calling it the Picotech suit, right?
Yeah.
So my theory is that, I feel like there's like a niceness with this suit. You see what I'm saying? I feel like what we know of the Pico suit will separate, and that could be the symbiote. You see what I'm saying?
I see.
Yeah, because he said he can inject in other people to track them too.
Yeah. So again,
that's
like,
coming back.
That's definitely going to come back, because he even said it earlier in the issue. He was just like, we need to have a talk with Dad about possibly injecting with them.
I don't know.
And he said he could sense them too.
I do see what you mean about the possibility of separation. I don't know if separation is what is going to happen. I think it's just going to become more intelligent, begin to think on its own, sort of like the whole AI thing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, technically speaking, isn't that what a symbiote is too? It's like the symbiote does have a mind of its own, and it's working in conjunction.
It relies on a host.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking instead of it being an actual symbiote, it's a hostile AI.
Yeah, I think that's what's
that can attach itself to people.
Okay, all right, I see that.
One more thing. Did we have like a remark that Peter didn't want like Otto to study this?
Well, they bring up Otto and the fact that like Harry flat out says like he never told Otto his identity because he had the security protocol. Yeah. That's what it was. He's like, I just knew you wouldn't want me to tell him.
But I also think that when they made the suit that Peter is now wearing, Otto was like, I want to study this thing, and Peter's like, no, I don't trust you.
Yeah, no, yeah, he didn't. He didn't.
I
want
mean,
him to touch
it was the Picotech that was saying Peter like, no.
Yeah, he didn't trust him.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Because I think Peter was already a little weary about him because of just like his demeanor. But then the confirmation was the Picotech was like, I don't trust him. Please don't let him touch me.
Yeah.
He's like, here's the rule. I won't touch your wife. You don't let him touch me.
Yeah, these are rules that are established now that are going to get broken. He's going to touch that suit.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, because Richard, if we're being honest, like, I don't think Richard has that context of anything that's going on with Otto.
No. He doesn't even know what an Otto is.
Stuff. Which I kind of like. I like kind of the idea of someone also being like the second Spider-Man. And I know it's like, a sidekick, but it's like, I like the idea that like he has no idea the bigger picture of what's going on. He doesn't like, and Black Cat's the one that's like filling him in. Because like even she set the whole tone that like she doesn't even want to be in the position she's in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, we're seeing some cracks in the Sinister Six already.
Oh yeah, we're seeing big ones.
I mean,
I know.
So let's stay on that for a little bit though, because I wonder what compelled Richard to just take the suit. Like what compelled him? That's an issue because all we see is that Peter is gone and he's in the suit. I want to know what the steps were for him to get the suit.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too. I'm hoping that is something that is answered eventually. Look, we're having Miles Morales enter this universe, and he's probably going to be like, well, there's another person swinging around as well. He's going to be like, why are there two Spider-Men here?
Mm-hmm.
And it's possible that could also serve as a delivery of an explanation.
Yeah.
Maybe we find out about Ultimate Incursion, because we know that in Ultimate Incursion, Miles is finding out what happened to this world.
Yeah.
So we, as the audience, already know what happens to this world. There has to be new information be disseminated in that.
Mm-hmm.
And my only one that's okay with a shallow reason, like he's 15 and a half. When I was 15, it'd be cool being Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Sure,
and he
because there's a lot in all these issues in the story of the characters. I'm okay with there not being like a deeper meaning to some stuff, and I'd be okay if he's like, oh, it'd be cool, like now I can hang out with my dad,
But it helps us understand, though. Hold on, because it does help us understand as the audience who approached who in this. Did Richard approach like this Picotech suit, or did the Picotech suit approach Richard?
Yeah, I mean,
he's probably like, well, the rules say I can't touch MJ, nothing about the sun, and then he's like, all right, you're Spider-Man now.
That's good.
Yeah, and also too, it's like it could be as simple as, he knows his dad is Spider-Man. He knows his dad is out here just like helping folk. What if he just so happened to see something on the news and it was like, damn, Spider-Man would be a great help right now, and then boom, the Picotech approaches him like, hey, you trying to go? And it's as simple as that.
Well, it's true, because we know the suit can like right there, he's standing right next to Richard Tocno, but can it fully be Spider-Man on its own?
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
Is there like limitations to it? Because we know it can take over.
We know that it can
when he's wearing the suit.
Parker. We don't know if it can talk on its own.
Well, here's the thing.
But really away.
Yeah, because he
maybe needs.
Oh, well, because issue, was it 12? Because issue 12, he was just staying silent. And then here we see him without Richard attached to him. He's a being. So I think he can function without a person, but maybe there's a set time limit on that.
Do you think it's maybe because he's kind of, pseudo, though, like I say, bonded with him? Because he can, later on, we know he can talk to Peter too. But is it because maybe he's got that little, because he's already been in the suit and Richard now can talk to it? Maybe that's like one of the kind of like when you gotta invite a vampire into your home for it to enter, like he has to be it's some sort of interaction with the suit physically for it to be able to like communicate with him.
You might be onto something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even look at the way Peter got his suit. Like, didn't he just like
Yeah.
touch the shit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and honestly, I kind of like this whole Richard Parker like Spider-Man thing. Like, I would be okay if we got like a little one shot of just like a little like what he did towards the end of January, like, you know,
Yeah.
towards the middle of January into February. Like, I
Yeah.
kind of dig this whole, because like even the joke when he's like, well, when he first tried, he like fell into a dumpster, and I'm like, well, how does he have all of Peter Parker's like memories? Like, I want to know more of this stuff. Like, but I'm like, I'd be okay with like a little. The dynamic between these two is really good, and it's one of those things where I'm like, man, this is a nice break from how serious everything is
Yeah.
a fan
Yes.
with Harry and Peter. This is a nice little, it's serious, but it's not, the tone is different, and I was like, I like this, I want more of this. I was saying we could talk about the end of this issue with the dinner table stuff. Yeah, because I thought I like this Kraven the Hunter a lot. He's not as physically imposing as he's been designed in the past and characterized, but I do like that he basically has, when he says drugging them wasn't working, and I was like, oh crap, I was like, he's more methodical with what he's doing. And I was like, because the thing is, every iteration of the Rogues Gallery, this and that, like, I already like the fact that it's a different Sinister Six than we're used to.
Yeah.
But I was curious, how are we going to handle Kraven from a character standpoint, not just the physical design? Like, yeah, he's not, 6'8", a solid 330, just like, chiseled, just physically looming over one. He's more scheming. He's working behind Kingpin's back on this and this and that. Like, and I was like, making them deals about hunting them. And I was like, I like this. Even the way he's talking to Mole Man, Mysterio, it's like he's that dissension in their ranks where it's like he's gone off script.
And this feels more like a hunter, but a hunter that's legit playing with his prey.
Yeah.
Like, I feel the essence of Kraven the Hunter, like, when I see him, even though like it's a completely different version. But I like what he did, especially in the other issues, to like get them on the ropes. Like, and I like the fact that he decided not to drug them. Like, oh, I already learned what I need to learn about you. Okay, now let me see how you survive out here. Like, that's cool to me.
And it's like he wanted an even playing field. He's like, why are you gonna feed him? He's like, I don't want to hunt a starving animal.
Yeah.
That line, I was like, damn, okay. This is a good Kraven. I mean, obviously, we won't talk about it now because we're not there yet, but I enjoy this Kraven.
Yeah, me too.
As we end issue 13 with our two heroes riding dinosaurs, we enter into issue number 14.
So here
they're riding dinosaurs.
We have more information on like what's going on with Richard and Black Cat. Like, obviously they were about to throw their hands, but Richard seems to have to like he has to talk her down. He's like, wait, hold, slow down, take it easy here.
Hey, I'm new here.
Yeah, right? Which is ballsy, because you know what I like about this though is like you can tell he's like very innocent and he has no idea what's going on. Because like, when have we ever seen like a hero just take off their mask like, yo, it's me?
Yeah.
We don't see that often.
It's me, or it's
And even then, that's
if he said it's me, then she'd be like, that doesn't help.
Doesn't help. Yeah, because even then, what's the guarantee that something like that would work? It's like, okay, you showed me who you are. Now, what is stopping me from blowing your damn head off?
Yeah.
Like, what was the point? But
right.
I see what because he's kind of like he's disarming himself. So I do appreciate that. And
or he's seeing a hot chick, and he just
that too.
What's up?
Let's stop from it. Let's talk.
But I do appreciate that, like, she's still keeping that same energy, and because like it's Spider-Man. It's like, yeah, Spider-Man's the one that threw my dad over a fucking building.
I don't know why she's so nonchalant when she says it, dude. Like, in my head, she was just like, yeah, well, Spider-Man threw my dad off a roof, and I'm like, it's true, that did happen.
But she also doesn't want to be like Black Cat either. So I kind of understand.
I know there's like there's like this whole duality to, and I'm like, that's why I was like, this is a nice, like, I like how we're getting the characters we know, but like a nice little refresh on the characteristics, the demeanor, even the way she kind of talks. It's still believable that this is a black cat,
Yeah.
but it's not the one we're used to from
There's a
maybe
twist.
like Amazing Spider-Man or this and that. It's like, yeah, this is neat.
And even that their banter is really cool too. Like I just like the way he says, like, yeah, I said that exactly what I was supposed to. I was direct. I was sympathetic. I projected my enunciation. I was like, I like this guy.
Yeah.
She's like, you read a lot of books, and I'm like, because it is nice. That's why I like him as like a Spider-Man, because he's just so there's an awkwardness about him. Like Peter Parker, when we got teenage Peter Parker, was always awkward and nerdy, but this is like a different type of awkward.
Mm-hmm. And now we see these motherfuckers riding dinosaurs.
Those dinosaurs, dude. I want to get that tattooed on me. Peter Parker on a raptor.
Pretty
That's
good.
dope. Checchetto drew his ass off in these issues, by the way.
He really did.
This is so good for the artwork in these, especially everything in the Savage Land. Like, so I'm not really familiar on Mole Man. I don't know if this Savage Land is something that's happened in Spider-Man before, but like, I just think of X-Men when they went to the Savage Land.
I mean, as I understand it, Mole Man is more of a subterranean character.
Yeah,
and that like they are subterranean, but they also took the idea of the Savage Land and also fused it with this whole subterranean theme and everything.
So I'm getting like, was it Journey to the Center of the Earth or Land of the Lost type of thing, where it's like, oh, it's subterranean. Then it's like, look, there's dinosaurs and a gorilla choking out a T-Rex, and I'm like, you know what? And then just the artwork and the coloring and everything on this, like everyone who was a part of this just like killed it with the last issue and even this issue.
Yeah,
like I'm digging this badass Peter too. He's finally like kind of getting that confidence, and like he's like turning into a fighter.
And I even like, it seemed like there was a lot of tension here, because like notice how many times he repeats he knows about MJ and the kids. He knows about MJ and the kids, and you just feel it like building up until we eventually get to the end where shit happens, but we still got a ways to get there. But yeah, I like this little interaction here too, because it's like a nice little callback to a couple issues ago, what the whole Black Cat situation, because it's like Peter's talking about just taking it easy on this dude. He's like, yeah, listen, I just want to get out of here, I want to get back to the wife and kids. But Harry's just like, okay, so when you leave here, what's gonna happen after that?
Yeah,
they know who you are. Oh, this is where shit gets crazy. This is where shit gets crazy. Like I said before, what I appreciate here is just like Kraven is just, he's playing with them. Like he's trying to see them dance.
Like he knew he could have got either one of them, but he went for the raptor.
Mm-hmm.
He even gave them in the last issue a bunch of bombs, like strapped.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
and he showed like I can pull the trigger. I'm not going to, but I can.
And that was my favorite part too, is when he disabled him. He's like, I'm not gonna rob myself of the hunt. Like it's like that brazen selfishness that'll eventually like be your downfall. And I was like, and it's usually, and that's kind of been the story of Kraven every time through all the history of him, is like he does get so obsessed with the hunt and like this code of honor he has about it, where he doesn't want to rob himself of that satisfaction to get the kill himself. That always ends up like just getting him in the long run. And I'm like, at least I'm glad that characteristic of him is the same, because that's something that's like ingrained in that character. But everything else around it, I'm just like, all right, he's sitting there with a sniper, and he's got a smile on his face. He knows he could just, even there with like Harry being trapped under the T-Rex, he could have took him out. Like he constantly has a kill shot. He's just choosing not to.
I'll also be honest here, because I'm not the biggest Spider-Man fan. It's just I just never really took the time to get invested. So if this is my introduction to Kraven, this is a great job. This is wonderful. Like I really want to go back and read some more mainline stuff just to see what other crazy shit this guy has done. But this is a good introduction.
He seems really similar to the video game one.
Yes, and I know a lot of people didn't see the movie. There are like the dialogue wise, there are some similarities to the movie. I like the movie. We don't need to get into it. I liked it. I'm like, It's just my opinion. I'm never wrong when it comes to comic book movies. In my opinion, they're usually right. Um, but I don't think there's ever been a Kraven part of the comic that's ever been bad. I don't know much about the original version of the Ultimate Spider-Man universe because I was never an Ultimate Universe fan. But like the Wild Hunt, this and that, all the runs that have Kraven in them have been. I've always really enjoyed them. Like they've always been good for like me. Like I haven't been disappointed with any of them.
Oh, okay. Oh, that gives me a lot of hope then.
Yeah.
You said what was it called? The Wild Hunt?
I think there's the Final Hunt or the Last Hunt, which is
Hunt.
the Last Hunt. That one, I always get the words mixed up. Either final or last. The Last Hunt was that's. I don't want to say mandatory reading, but I loved it.
Wait, what'd you say, Ben?
Yeah.
It's also Grim Hunt.
Okay.
Where Kraven was brought back to life. It was a crazy story. It was a long story.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. I got some good reading to catch up on then.
Yeah, it was a good one. We do see Peter and Harry argue quite a bit over what they're doing. Peter is not willing to do a killing blow. Harry is like, they are going to kill your family. Peter doing the Sonic Adventure pose right here, which I love. But now, like, Peter's like using his brain. He's setting traps, and all the while, Moleman's kind of helping them out. Moleman's got his own agenda.
This kind of confused me a little bit because, on one hand, when I'm reading it back to back, it's a little jarring because it's like last issue he seemed like he was with the shit, but then now he's working against Kraven. But if you're reading it in real time, I guess 1 month is enough time to possibly change your mind.
Well, he did say there was some language too in terms of like how he said, like he's like, "I'll let you use my Savage Land." Like that's what he said in the last issue. Like,
but also it's not a full month because remember, last issue was January 31st. This is February 1st, so it hasn't been a full month. It's just a new month.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So
yeah,
but he even points out like because Kraven's basically destroying his subterranean sanctuary. He's causing chaos, and he's also hurting his dinosaur.
Yeah,
and so I can see little children is moloids.
Yeah, which are neat little golem-looking things. I kind of like his character. Like I don't know much about Mole Man. I always thought it was weird, but I kind of like this character design. Like the character designs in general in Ultimate Spider-Man have been really good.
Yeah, same.
We do get an interesting exchange between Mysterio, who just appears, and Mole Man.
Ooh, yes. Ooh, and that trickles back into later down the line. Ooh,
you get that issue, it's gonna be crazy.
It's very interesting. Gosh. But essentially, Mysterio is just an observer here. We're like, well, why? What are you doing here? And I'll admit, I was just sort of thinking nothing of it. I was like, all right, he's just sort of here.
I'm sorry. The red flags were kind of going off in my head even before we got to issue 16. I was like, something don't seem right.
Yeah.
Something don't seem right.
Yeah.
I was like,
you could tell with especially their interaction with each other. Like, I just thought, okay, everyone has their own vested interest for some odd reason in these two. Outside, like Mole Man's kind of like, all right, you can use my playground, this, that, but then also Mysterio kind of came across as like, are you like, you sure like you want to let him hunt that? Like everyone had like motives that weren't, except for Kraven, everyone else had motives we didn't know yet.
Yeah.
And still, like Mole Man, we still kind of don't fully know. Like he's just kind of like loyal to Kingpin and being like, all right, well, I guess you can hunt them.
Here we get some more interactions with Felicia and Richard. And like I said, I want to see this develop. There's so much you can tug on with these two because it's like they're both put in a very awkward situation. But I'm going to call it now. Like, it's going to come down to the wire with one of them. This isn't going to be no happy fairy tale shit. He's going to have to make a choice. And she's going to have to make a choice. And when that choice is made, that is it. Black and white.
It just clicked in my head because she still wants to go after Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
he's not Spider-Man. So it's
He
gonna
still
have.
wants to go
So
after
is he
the
gonna
guy
turn on his?
that hurt her dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he gonna go inside with her and turn on his dad, or is he gonna turn on her and side with his dad? Because she's gonna get that revenge somehow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's only fair. I mean, you yeeted my dad off a building.
Yeah.
I mean, come
And
on now.
with the
I gotta get
pacing
my
of the
lick back.
Yeah.
with the pacing of the book, this has potential to be really good because we know they continue their friendship growing and everything else. So it's like, okay, I'm invested in this. Like I said, I think this is a nice break from all the serious stuff to have this be kind of lighthearted
Yeah.
until it turns serious.
Yeah.
We should talk about this too. The whole insurance
Contingency plan.
aspect of it, because
Yes.
up until then, Peter was under the assumption the kids and Mary Jane were in danger, also Gwen. But then Harry drops the bombshell. I was like, wait, hold on. I got insurance, bro. If anything happens to me, they're gonna make sure the people who took me, they're gonna be paid off. And also at the same time, somebody has eyes on Gwen. I thought that was a little cool, and also it also goes to show you too that it's like Harry's just one of those guys, man. He's always prepared.
Yes.
Yeah, always prepared. Like it's gonna be rare that you catch Harry slipping, and I think that's why he's one of my favorite characters in this entire book. Because it's like, all right, Harry got a plan for something.
Harry does have a plan for pretty much everything. He's able to see almost everything coming.
Mm-hmm.
More on that in a bit.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You know, Kraven gets the hands put on him, and he even gets the one up on by, you know, Peter and Harry with the whole bomb situation. That was cool.
Yeah.
I thought for the longest time, you know, Kraven was just gonna have his foot on their necks, but no, they got him. Just even seeing Peter like throw the hands as well, like, because I think up until this point we got so used to just seeing, you know, Peter in Spider-Man form. So that's why I'm happy we got these two issues, because we really get to see both of them stripped down, no suit, no extra business, and let's get it in the mud.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's fight for our survival.
I like this. One of the things too with when you're talking about Harry, I like that from a Harry Osborn standpoint, we have a Green Goblin that has no human enhancements. He just has the suit. So the dynamic of basically, you know, Peter and Harry in this whole situation, Harry's, I mean, for all intents and purposes, is useless. In his leg. He can't. It's all. So it's like I like the dynamic of him basically
murder. But he wants to murder. That too.
Yeah. And he's like, come on, you could get him, like kill him, like we need to end this here, like, you know, he knows about your family, and it's kind of like one of those things where it's like Harry can't do it, but he wants that result, and it's almost like that whole like, okay, their dynamic, even through like all these issues up to now, like we've always seen the contrasting, but they always have that mutual thing. But this is kind of like where that hard line was, and we even talked about his limits, like crossing a line, and I'm like, okay, I dig this, and this fight was good.
Also, I'm gonna say it here. Obviously, we're not gunning for Peter to commit murder. We're not. That's not what we're gunning for. But I also think what Hickman is doing is just like he is pushing him to the edge. Because I'll be 100% honest. While this was intense, I don't think this is nothing. I feel like there's gonna be something even worse down the line where he's gonna have to really make that decision, and I don't know if he holds up. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if he holds up.
I think it's gonna be with Kingpin after the beating he gave both of them, and that steel cage match they had. Like,
yeah,
that was so many. It's crazy how many issues ago that was. But like, I think it's gonna be the fight with Kingpin, especially when we get a couple more issues in. We can talk about stuff. That's where I'm like, all right, because we know this is a different Peter. This is someone who's already grown, you know. And he's still learning just the extent of how much power he has. And anytime I see Peter Parker in a fist fight, I always think of the Superior Spider-Man. When Otto broke Scorpion's jaw, and he's like, he was holding back against us the whole time. And I always think of that every time I see a Peter Parker fight. Because I'm like, he doesn't know how strong he is. Like, and he is probably pulling his punches still, even now. And I'm like, but he didn't grow as a teenager into an adult with these powers. He's already an adult. So I'm like, does he have that
He has
discipline?
everything to lose.
Yeah, and also this is a man with a family, so it's just like people don't play. We don't play by our family. So imagine him. So there's a whole extra set of strength that comes from that too.
Yeah, because there's a difference when you're a teenager and maturing with the powers as opposed to being mature and then getting the powers. You're not learning along the way. He's already along the way, and now he's got powers. So I'm like, man, as much as we always say Spider-Man has rules, I mean, it's not the first time a villain may or may not die in a Peter Parker in a Spider-Man fight.
Yep.
I'm hard pressed to believe. I mean, he let Kraven, Kraven is Kraven, but like we still have other people who are stronger than him that he's going to be facing.
And I think there's probably even somebody even badder than Kingpin that's right across the line too. So but yeah, then we get to this point right here. He ends up letting Kraven live, and then Harry's the one that catches the clip. Hate that it had to be my boy.
Did you think?
But you got to go back a page. That line was so crazy when he's like, I didn't get a warning. He's like, I wasn't aiming for you, and I was like, oh yeah. I was like, and the swollen eye with the tattoo, and like I was like, that was a page of. That was
Did you think Harry was dead?
I thought he was dead.
No, just because I feel like, okay, I don't want to say it was anticlimactic from that standpoint because this was a good scene, but I feel like there's still, if he was like in this instance, everything, I was like, man, he can't be dead because like I always assume there would be a dissension between the two at some point, like a full-blown trading blows dissension at some point.
Yeah,
that's why I was just like, man, like. And it didn't feel like there was no gravitas to it. It was like a cheap shot. And I was like, really? I was like, it's on brand for a Spider-Man situation. But I was like, that just doesn't. It didn't set well with me when I was reading this issue when it came out.
The reason why I said yes is because, again, we would expect him to come back. But then again, that's the charm of the Ultimate Universe. Just like you don't really know. So when I saw that he was dead and he had a fucking bullet, and I was like, oh, okay, that's it. But obviously, the essence of Harry would still continue on, because he'd still have all of the times that they spent together, especially like, the important bits. So I knew
he's still alive.
Yeah,
Otto's still alive. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just like, but when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I wasn't expecting it, and B, it's the Ultimate Universe. So I was like, okay, so if he dies, he dies.
I wasn't expecting it, but I also took it at face value. Like, okay, I believe it, but I also wasn't going to accept it. I was like I was in a weird spot with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's valid.
I get that though.
And then here, even again, he has the chance to bash this motherfucker's brains in, but nope. Obviously, we have more context later down the line. Yeah. But I am happy for Mysterio's interference here, because go home, go be a family man, go.
Do you think? And I was thinking about this after, because I read this issue when it came out. I was thinking, if Mysterio didn't show up, would have been the moment where Peter was sent over the edge with Kraven?
No, I don't think Peter ever would.
Yeah. I feel like if it was like a family member, maybe, but like
at this point,
yeah, I don't know, because it's tough to talk about this knowing what we know now, because it's like, oh, if this was fresh, I'd speculate like crazy, but I was like, at the time, I was just like, it's convenient that Mysterio showed up, so I was like, there's something else going on here, because this is like, all right, you basically talked about how you were just kind of like a spectator. And this is Mole Man's subterranean world, but like you're actually like kind of interjecting yourself now.
I also like the line where it's just like, if you kill him, my attention is gonna be on you.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's already like bad enough that Kraven had the eyes on him and was able to pluck him and Harry. So I think there was a little bit of a relief for just like, all right, so that's one less person that I have to worry about on my back. And it also helps that, from what we know of this specific issue, this was the person standing in the way between him and Kraven. I appreciate it based off of just this issue. Here you go.
Breaking the news.
Breaking the news.
And then the decision, they've got to get the fuck out of there. They got to run.
They got to run.
Man,
They got to run.
This art, like, I'm sorry, I love Peach Momoko and the X-Men comics, but this artwork for Ultimate Spider-Man has been like the best out of all the Ultimate books and some of the best in Marvel.
We know why he was not on a few other issues. He had to work on these.
Yeah.
Good. I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that.
It's 3 straight that he gave us because it was
he gave us 3 straight. Yeah.
And we talked about it before. Like, that's why even when we have the guest artists, they still carry that essence.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of the times with the guest artists, it's they're mostly just talking anyways.
They fit the tone of what's going on.
Yeah,
in the issue, like the dinner issue and that sort of thing.
I like the dinner issue.
Yeah.
Like, would it have been great to see Checchetto art on the dinner issue? Of course. But I like that he's saving it for like this raw shit right here.